So, the Kyrie Irving trade happened. Kyrie Irving is a Dallas Maverick. Kyrie Irving was traded to the Dallas Mavericks for Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a future first-round pick, and a couple of second-rounders. And for you Lakers fans, report came out that the Brooklyn Nets owner simply did not want to trade him to LA. I'm sorry. But it happened. Kyrie Irving is out of Brooklyn. He's in Dallas. I didn't want to make a premature video because up until like yesterday, the trade wasn't even official yet. But now it is. Today, right after you guys watch this video, Kyrie Irving will be making his debut for the Dallas Mavericks, and boy oh boy will I be ready to watch that. But enough of that, let's break down the trade. Let's see how Kyrie Irving is going to fit on the Dallas Mavericks. We got to talk about if he's going to resign or not. We got to talk about what impact this has on the Brooklyn Nets and everything in between. So obviously the biggest question has been, is this a good move? Did the Dallas Mavericks make the right decision in trading for Kyrie Irving? Now on the surface, Kyrie Irving is an all-star. He's an all-NBA caliber player, 27 point per game score on great efficiencies. But when you dive deeper, things get a little tricky. Like I talked about in my last video, Kyrie Irving has been in the news for a lot of the wrong reasons recently and has bolted from each of his last 3 teams. That's the narrative. That's the go-to story that a lot of people like to go with, but I feel like it goes deeper than that. So when we question if Kyrie Irving is going to resign with the Mavericks or not, let's look at what has happened in his last 3 tenures on these 3 NBA teams. With the Cleveland Cavaliers, why did he leave? Why did Kyrie Irving choose to leave? Now, Kyrie Irving stated that he chose to leave because he wanted to be the lead dog. He wanted to be the guy, but I think it's more to the story. Now, I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. I cannot confirm or deny this, but there were some rumblings that the Cleveland Cavaliers tried to trade Kyrie Irving. He heard news of that and became very, very upset. That's why he wanted to force his way out of Cleveland. Now, I don't know. To me, that story makes a lot of sense because let's be honest. Kyrie Irving at one time threatened to have season-ending surgery if he was not traded. And personally, I don't think you threaten to have season-ending surgery if all you want to be is the top dog. Maybe he was just tired of being LeBron's shadow, who knows? But I feel like there's something that happened in Cleveland that led to his departure. Now let's go to Boston. Now, of course, Kyrie Irving had the whole press conference before a game stating how he was going to resign and be a Celtic lifer and all that yada yada yada. Unfortunately for Kyrie Irving, he had a close family member pass away, which led to him moving back to Brooklyn, being closer with his family, being closer with his father. I don't know, that reasoning sounds fair to me. And then when we get to Brooklyn and how Kyrie Irving was treated for everything that's happened, I mean, the biggest thing was the worldwide pandemic that shut down everything, and Kyrie Irving just chose not to take a vaccine. Now, a lot of other players chose not to take a vaccine, but Kyrie Irving was probably the one that was most slandered. He felt slighted, he felt disrespected, and I feel like the recent contract negotiations was just the nail in the coffin. Kyrie Irving, as we know it, he wants to go to LA. Could he bolt and go to the Lakers this offseason? He definitely could. So now let's talk about the package. Like I said, the Mavericks traded away Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith, 2 key players to their team's success, but once again, I mean, those aren't like needle movers in my opinion. Yes, Spencer Dinwiddie was having a solid season. Yes, Dorian Finney-Smith was having a solid season, but you can always get a Dorian Finney-Smith level player. You know, you can always get a Spencer Dinwiddie level player. A Kyrie Irving level player is just not on the trade market every day. They jumped on an opportunity to get an all NBA caliber player for pretty cheap if you ask me, and that's why I believe you cannot say the Mavericks lost this trade. And quickly just talking about the Brooklyn Nets side of things, you got Spencer Dinwiddie, you got Dorian Finney-Smith. Those players will at least help you stay competitive, especially once Kevin Durant comes back from his injury. But I don't think they're done. They could make a little more noise going into the trade deadline. Ben Simmons might be a player that's on the move. Maybe they trade Patty Mills or Seth Curry because now you do have an abundance of guards. Who knows? And shout out to Cam Thomas, man. With this trade, he's gotten the opportunity to showcase his true talents. 3 straight 40-point games, man. Wow. So how does Kyrie Irving fit on the Dallas Mavericks? Now, him and Luka Doncic, we obviously have not seen him play yet, but Luka is a very ball-dominant guard. We know this. He's been doing everything for the Mavericks and then some. On the year, he's averaging 33 points. He's averaging 8 assists. He's taking 22 shots a game. I mean, will he be able to share that wealth with Kyrie Irving? Now, me personally, I think so, because for Kyrie Irving, he's been a player who's played alongside ball-dominant guys his entire career. It's LeBron James and Kevin Durant and James Harden. I mean, he has the ability to play the second option or third option in some cases. Kyrie Irving excels off ball. He excels in short clock situations, and I feel like the two are going to mesh really, really well. Luka Doncic now doesn't have to do everything on the court and tire himself out, and Jason Kidd can do a good job at staggering their minutes and exploiting mismatches when they come. So now let's talk about the rest of the team. Now, of course, you traded away Dorian Finney-Smith, who was your #1 defender. Now, the defense might be a little lackluster now, especially with the Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic backcourt. I mean, neither of them playing really any defense. Kyrie Irving is actually a decent defender, you know. He's not no slouch. But I feel like the loss of Dorian Finney-Smith is really negated by Josh Green, who's coming into his own this season. Josh Green is just 22 years old. The 6'6" wing has had an astounding year this year. On the season, he's averaging just under 9 points, 2.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists. He's shooting 56% from the field, and get this, 41.9% from 3. Now, of course, he's not taking a lot of 3-pointers. He's not taking a lot of shots in general, but he's a slasher. He's someone that both Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic can find cutting to the rim. He can pick his spots on the court, and he has a 6'11 wingspan. That's going to be really, really big on the defensive end. This team also has Maxi Kleber coming back from injury very soon. He's been an integral part of that team's success. Jaden Hardy is finally getting some type of opportunity to showcase what he can do. He can be a scorcher off the bench for them. And something tells me that the Mavericks are not done making moves before this trade deadline. I mean, you have contracts of Tim Hardaway Jr. and Reggie Bullock, Davis Bertans, Dwight Powell. I mean, you have options to move and add more 3-and-D wings if you need to. You can add another center. You can add another guard if you need to. They have the ammunition to make moves, man. So when you look at it from that standpoint, I don't see how you can argue that the Mavs lost this trade. No matter if Kyrie stays or not, this was a slam dunk move by Mark Cuban in that organization. So the first game for Kyrie Irving is tonight. Unfortunately, Luka Doncic is not playing, so we will not see the two in action. But seeing Kyrie Irving in a Dallas Mavericks jersey is going to be very exciting. I can't wait to see what he does, and I'm very, very excited for the future of the Dallas Mavericks.